For number 4, we're going to factor out the denominator here. There's 4 terms. We can use factoring by grouping. So we're going to group the first 2 terms and the last 2 terms. We can take out an x squared from the first one, and we get x minus 3. The second grouping, really can't factor anything out other than 1. But I'm going to put that out there just to show this. Now, these both have an x minus 3 in common, so if we factor out an x minus 3, we're left with an x squared plus 1 times x minus 3. This x squared plus 1 can't be factored anymore, so that's it. We've got 5x squared minus 7x plus 6 all over x squared plus 1 times x minus 3. So we're going to have a denominator over here that's x squared plus 1 and a denominator that's x minus 3. Well, x squared plus 1, that's a little bit different. That's a quadratic down here. So on top, from the first page in the notes, remember we talked about this, the top has to be linear instead of just a constant. It's 1 degree less. So up top, we're going to have ax plus b. Instead of just an a, since this is an x squared, we have to do a linear expression on top. So it's going to be ax plus b. Over here, this is just linear on bottom, so 1 degree less up here is just going to be a constant. So that's just going to be c. All right, we get that set up. We can go ahead and multiply both sides by this denominator. So that's going to cancel the denominator out over there. And over here, it's going to cancel one denominator out each time. So for our first one, x squared plus 1's cancel out. We are left with ax plus b times x minus 3. Second one, the x minus 3's cancel out, so we're left with c times x squared plus 1. We want to go ahead and distribute these. The left side stays the same, 5x squared minus 7x plus 6 equals ax squared minus 3ax plus bx minus 3b plus cx squared plus c. So we want to go ahead and start to look for like terms. We have some x squared terms. We have some x terms. And we have some constants. So with our x squareds, I'm going to go ahead and factor the x squared out, and we're left with a plus c. So we know that those, a plus c, a plus c has to equal 5. Then with the x's, if we take the x out, we're going to have negative 3a plus b. So that negative 3a plus b, that's going to have to equal negative 7. And then our constants, we don't have to factor anything out there. We just have minus 3b plus c. And those two constants have to add up to give us 6. So we're going to have 3 equations again. A plus c equals 5. Negative 3a plus b equals negative 7. And negative 3b plus c equals 6. So this one's a little tougher. We don't have just one variable in any of them like we did in the last problem. So what we're going to have to do is solve for a variable and substitute into one of the other equations. So we could do it with any one of these equations. This first one's probably one of the easier ones to do. So we can solve for A or C. I'm going to go ahead and solve for C. If we solve for C, we get 5 minus A. And there's another equation down here that has C in it. So I'm going to take the 5 minus A and plug that in there for C. And now we want to get that 5 to the other side, so we just have the A's and B's, and I'm going to rearrange. I'm going to put the negative A in front, minus 3B equals 1, and just subtracted that 5 over. But now we've got this equation and this one right here. They both have a's and b's in them. So we can use those together to solve for one of those variables. So we have negative 3a plus b equals negative 7. And then negative a minus 3b equals 1. I'm going to go ahead and multiply this first equation by 3 on both sides to get the b's to be opposites. And then we can add those two equations. We get negative 10a equals negative 20. Divide, we get a equals 2. Well, we can figure out c pretty easily. C is 5 minus a, so that means c is going to be 3. And then to find b, we can plug either of these into one of these other equations. So let's see. Let's go ahead and use this one. So if we put a, or 2 in for a, we get negative 6 plus b equals negative 7. So b is going to come out to be negative 1. So we have our three variables. We can go ahead and write our final answer here by substituting them into that expression. So we have ax plus b, 2x minus 1, all over x squared plus 1, plus c, which is 3, over x minus 3.